Every day as a small business owner feels like solving a puzzle. One moment you're cruising along, and the next, there's a shipping snag that has you scrambling. But here's a surprise you will like. With Progressive, small business owners save 13% on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So go ahead, surprise yourself. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Ever wonder who's out there making the world go round? It's truckers. Who unites baristas with coffee beans? Truckers. Who unites dogs with their favorite chew toy? Truckers. That's why Progressive offers truckers even more protection with Cargo Plus coverage to keep truckers moving right along. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions. Not yet available in California, New York, and Virginia.
Well, Leigh, hello, how are we?
Hello, I'm feeling much cooler today than the last time we recorded because the drizzle has returned and I am back in my natural habitat.
It's literally, to use a phrase used but a moment ago, tipping it down here. And Leigh and I had a little discussion about the phrase tipping it down because I think it's so perfect for when it is really, really heavily raining. And I was like, it feels very British. Was it something that was Irish and that you heard in Ireland? And Leigh said, yeah, I feel like it's Irish too. And both of us have made the assumption that it's something that doesn't exist across the pond. But do let us know if tipping it down is something that you use over there, because I do love it as a phrase.
Yes. It's interesting not to like really get into the minutiae of weather.
Please, Leigh, it's of our people.
I do feel like raindrops in America, you know how they say everything is bigger in Texas? Well, and everything is bigger in the States, full stop, including the raindrops. Like it does feel like the raindrops in America are bigger than they are here.
That would make, in my very small meteorological knowledge, that would make sense for me in terms of like the distances that clouds might be traveling or like the pressure that might build up over larger pieces of ground. Because obviously we're both from little island nations, you know?
That makes total sense. Whereas obviously the Americans would not be familiar with the kind of sideways rain that we experience in Ireland and the UK.
Yes. Where it's like, doesn't matter what sort of rain jacket you put on, you will be soaked all the way through. I saw something, speaking of weather, you've got an English gal going now. I saw something really cool yesterday. I was on the beach. I'd had a swim and obviously said it wasn't cold at all when I was in fact freezing. But as I was bobbing around in the sea, I looked up. Clouds were really interesting because it was quite a windy day. And I saw like a really thin band of cloud that was basically almost rainbow colored. It had like iridescence to it. And I'd never seen that before. And like the few of us that were on the beach all looked up and we were like, this feels really special. Like we're seeing something that maybe isn't real.
Whoa.
And it's like iridescent, like, you know, like mother of pearl. And then my sister looked it up and it's a real thing. So cloud iridescence or rainbow clouds is sunlight that is diffracted by tiny uniformly sized water droplets or ice crystals within thin wispy clouds. It creates pastel hues which can make the edges of the cloud shimmer with green, pink, yellow and blue. But it's considered atmospheric phenomena.
Whoa.
And I was like, two fun words next to each other.
Now that
atmospheric phenomena.
That is next level weather chat, Fiona. You've really outdone yourself there.
I do feel like we should now immediately go, hi, welcome back to Queer Gals Watch the West Wing, not the Weather Channel, with myself, Fi, and the lovely Leigh. And
Hello.
we are here this week not to discuss clouds or water droplets, but in fact to discuss episode 16 of season 4 of the West Wing. And that is the California 47th.
Oh, I wonder where we might be headed.
Well, Leigh, it looks like we'll be seeing Sammy Boys sometime soon.
We'll be seeing an old friend.
An old friend. Shall we dive in?
I've got my peppermint tea. I'm ready to go.
We've both got a herbal tea. I don't know who we think we are today. It's outrageous. The previously on this episode is straight back into the kind of ongoing violence in Kundu and how the states might intervene. But how will we see this connect to Sam in Cali? We open in the sit room.
And what are we doing, Fiona? We are video conferencing. It feels like the future. Jed is on Zoom.
What's interesting is we're video calling someone on a submarine and he cannot see us, but we can see him, which is interesting. But either way, it's good to see Fitzy. Jed is not his best self, I will say.
He's tetchy with Leo. He's very short with him.
Someone hasn't slept well, understandably.
Yeah.
But someone has not slept well. We get this back and forth between Leo, Jed, and then Fitzy. Could you just take it easy?
Is he placing a bet?
Are we allowed to do that? Because Jed is very upset that the person, I'm guessing some sort of admiral, is taking a call whilst on this video call to Jed.
Mm-hmm.
And Jed's like, is he placing a bet? And then Fitzy, just to like disperse the angst, is like, are we allowed to do that? Which I think is very funny.
Fitzy has really of late shown himself to be a good time gal, which I don't think we super knew about him in earlier seasons.
I think since he was he called some sort of like horse wrangler or something?
Yes. You
And
all
a muckety
muckety
muck.
muck.
Yeah, I think since then we've confirmed that Fitzy is a good time gal.
Yeah.
But the news from Kundu is that we've taken the airport. And so now there is a kind of like 36-hour window for the president to essentially like cede his power to the United States. Otherwise, they will like continue onwards into Kundu.
We love a countdown.
And then we go into a stunning opening walk and talk between Jed and Leo, which we haven't had for some time with those two.
Just letting us know where everything lies. We learn that Joey is working on Sam's campaign, which I love, which makes sense because she is California based.
Yeah,
famously.
It's lovely to know that the two of them have been together once again.
Absolute dream team. They have such good chemistry, those two. In ways, I kind of wish the romantic
Had
plot
been between
line
them.
with Joey had been with Sam.
Yeah, agreed.
But Jed is just still being super tetchy. He has no chill, which I understand. It's like a very stressful situation, obviously. But also, it's also apparently about getting the tax plan together.
And lots of things to do with the OMB and such. He is disgruntled and uses the phrase, what's wrong with booze and a comfortable pickup? Which I found funny. And then we get to the Oval and the lovely Lily Tomlin is back.
Hey, Queen, missed you. It's been a while.
Deborah.
And I just love, Deborah has exactly the energy that he needs because she just brings him crushing back down to earth, even in his touchiest moments, because she kind of opens up with him. Her opening rejoinder, if you will, is, no, I see there's no hour too early for your Noel Coward-esque wit, sir.
Now, the thing that's great about this is it's both a compliment because you know that Jed would appreciate being compared to Noel Coward, but also, as you say, kind of a crushing blow.
Read. Yeah.
But we go into the Oval to meet with the ambassador for Kundu.
And
Whoa.
while he is still shaking the man's hand, Jed Bartlett says, I've just taken your airport.
It's incredible. And it's also an interruption. So the ambassador is speaking to Jed as they shake hands, and Jed just interrupts him with, I've just taken your airport. Wow.
Jed is truly on fire throughout this entire scene. As my high school friend's born-again Christian mother used to say, he is on fire for the Lord, but mostly Jed is just on fire.
I really enjoy that phrase. I might use it in a kind of camp way moving forward.
The woman in question actually introduced, if you can imagine, introduced herself to me and my mum the first time I was kind of dropped around at this particular friend's house by saying, hi, I'm such and such and I'm on fire for the Lord.
Whoa.
As you can imagine,
that's a
Jen
lot.
did not know how to respond.
That's not Jennifer's vibe.
She was much more of a kind of like, let's get you some arnica for that bruise type of mum. Much more of a kind of herbal remedy. queen.
We roll back to Jed and this ambassador, and essentially they have this pretty cutting back and forth where the ambassador's still trying to kind of, in a way, make some sort of grounds for the behavior that's been going on in Kundu. And Jed's just having none of it.
He's just unapologetic through this whole thing. I think the Kundu representative was perhaps expecting him to kind of beat around the bush a little bit more or kind of be evasive about what the US military is actually doing. But he's just like very much being upfront and direct and like owning what his military is doing. In, yes, a kind of camp Noel Coward-esque fashion, if Noel Coward had written about war as a subject.
The Red Cross has been denied entry on 3 separate occasions in the last 10 days. President Nzele has 36 hours to give the command to his troops to hand over their weapons to the 86th Airborne Division of the United States Army. At 36 hours and 1 minute, I give the order for the 101st Air Assault to take Batanga and run up our flag. I skipped breakfast. Anybody want a coffee or something?
It's so camp. But also what I will say is it's a smash to credits like we've never seen before, the likes of which we may never see again. But also, Jed, you're the president. You've just sent troops into a genocide and you have MS. Please don't skip breakfast.
Yeah, we beg of him and Leo not to be relying on half a grapefruit. We just would like them to have a bowl of muesli, a little porridge. You're men of a certain age. It's important for your gut health for you to eat early in the morning, please.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm ever going to be over him standing behind the Oval desk and saying, strictly speaking, I just conquered your country without the paperwork.
Yeah, there is a campery to it. I think for me, asking if anyone wants coffee is the creme de la creme. It's the anyone want a coffee or something.
It's so corporate.
Yeah. Note that as we go into the opening credits, Joshua Molina has joined the lineup with his own little kind of photo montage moment.
And I think also they've updated
people's pictures.
The pictures, yes.
I was about to say to a breast briefing. In my dreams. To a press briefing. CJ is there with the press call talking about an upcoming trip to Cali.
Yeah, I got really excited because she mentions that the Pentagon public affairs person was going to join them on Air Force One on the trip to California. And I got really excited that we were like introducing a new character in that role. And I got way ahead of myself being like, oh my God, dream scenario. It's a lesbian in the Department of Defense who's going to help CJ discover her bisexuality. And frankly, I might just have to like go away and write that fan fiction because I just can't let it go.
I was going to say, Leigh, I feel like it's ripe ground for fan fiction there.
Yeah.
The scenes that were stolen from us.
Yeah.
Truly. We hear that in the most recent trip to California, CJ had fruits and vegetables thrown at her. Fundamentally, the important thing here is whilst she was wearing a sky blue DKNY suit.
Criminal. Absolutely
criminal.
By privileged male youths who thought that she couldn't afford avocados on a government salary, I believe.
Outrageous.
It's so good.
She's then like, okay, cool, like, see, like, we're wheels up at such and such time. And then she uses the phrase, yeah, we're going to have a dabadoo time.
Yeah, which ordinarily I would hate, but I do feel that when said when one is at the end of one's wits, it is in fact fun. It wouldn't be fun said in earnest.
No, if you were doing it in a kind of camp counselor way, I wouldn't be on board.
Horrifying.
But in terms of like, you know, if you were a sort of downtrodden teacher at the end of term.
Yes.
Then yes. As we walk away from the press briefing, she is updated that on the kind of weekend or like Friday television press, kind of like late night news shows that are on, someone who was planning to be interviewed has been dropped in favor of Gacy, who you said, have we heard of Gacy before? We have. And also Rittenhouse. And then CG's like, oh shit, the Republicans are going to drop their tax bill.
Their tax plan, yeah.
Their tax plan. So this is like, if you vote for us, or if you vote for like Now I'm going to say something dumb. Is this in terms of like things that could happen if the Republicans have control of the House and the Senate?
No. So we just need to get a tax plan through that passes through Congress. That's what needs to happen. Essentially, what's happening is the way it would be phrased in the UK is when a particular party puts forward their manifesto, but it's just like tax specific. Now, nobody is going to obviously get their full tax plan because it needs to be kind of voted through and you need to get people from one side or the other on board. Ultimately, the Republicans have control of Congress at this point.
Yes.
So a tax plan needs to get passed. The Republicans are kind of putting out what they're proposing.
Okay. I'm with you. Shall we go to Jed in Father-in-Law Hell?
Oh my God, it's incredible. Yeah.
I desperately need Jean Paul to fuck off.
He is a villain, the likes of which we have not seen since John Hoynes was first introduced. Like, it's that level of like, he is under my skin in the worst way.
And like, the fact that Zoe's like, ha 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 ha, I love seeing my two men sparring.
Ew. Zoe, I was so behind you.
Zoe, you're an intelligent young woman.
You from day
you're
one.
A smart young woman.
But who amongst us has not allowed their life, personality, and well-being be completely derailed by an odious person?
By an
let those of us who have
suitor.
not fallen cast the first stone.
Yeah, she's loved up in quite a toxic way because her father is clearly at a level of discomfort that's almost medical.
We've already established that Jed is having an extremely grumpy day. And Zoe's French boyfriend is the worst person who Jed could have possibly been confronted with whilst in this mood.
It's because he's like, no, let me tell you the ways in which your country is bad. And you're like, what? In what world do you think this is a sensible conversation to have with the father of your girlfriend, who is the president of the United States of America?
What I will also say is I'm not someone who often gets on board with the kind of French bashing that goes on in the UK because it's not my fight, ultimately, between you guys. But what I will say is it is incredibly French man, specifically French male. It is so incredibly correct of a French man that you would just feel entitled to have a one-to-one debate with the President of the United States in the Oval Office based purely off of the fact that he is dating his daughter.
Yeah. It's an authentic, to me, it's the boyfriend is also formulated in the style of the, in quotation marks, European boyfriend of like teen movies. So in that way, Jean-Paul is very real to me, although I don't wish to tar the people of France with the brush of Jean-Paul.
He is kind of the French answer to Sing to Me, Paolo of the Lizzie McGuire movie fame.
Truly.
And similarly villainous.
Truly. Leigh, would you like to speak to Zoe's outfit?
Yes, she looks gorgeous. She's in just like a really plain like sky blue tee and like a navy cardigan and like a patent leather mini skirt. It's a really strong day look for 2003.
If anything, spending time in France has improved her fashion.
It has.
The gang enter to update Jed on what's going on with the Republican tax plan. And they're obviously in on it too because they're like, no, we don't need to come in right now. And Jed just summons over Josh Lyman and like pulls him in close and whispers in his ear, if you leave, I'll kill you.
It's so girl code. I love it. I just love that like Jed in this moment with specifically Josh is saying, I'm invoking girl code. You cannot leave.
We've all been at like a party or like round for drinks at someone's house or like at a pub with someone's, to use your phrase, odious person they're dating, and had someone lean over and be like, when people like disperse to go to like the bathroom or to the bar, and someone lean over and be like, you will not leave the table and leave me with them. You will stay. And we will navigate this together. But we dismiss Jean-Paul, and he's dismissed with this phrase: I'll look forward to continuing the discussion on, what's wrong with me.
Incredible.
I laughed out loud at that.
We love a secure man.
Yeah. And then we all sit down, we start discussing strategy about the tax plan. And Jed's like, Toby. And Toby just from nowhere just goes, I don't like that French kid very much.
I am obsessed that Toby is just ever so subtly like, no, Charlie is my man. And I'm Charlie's guy. I will not condone or endorse his rival.
I think also it's the upcoming fatherhood as well. Of being like, oh God, I'm going to have to navigate this with the twins at some point.
Oh.
And I don't like that French kid very much. So good. Just like unprompted, everyone's talking about work. I just don't like that French kid very much. Anyway, the discussion is, we need to announce our tax plan. But if we do that in Cali, that's going to be really destructive for Sam's campaign because it's a Republican district.
Yes, Republican leaning.
Yes, and has a lot of very wealthy people there. And obviously their tax plan is about taxing a 1% tax increase on the super wealthy. So they're like, oh, well, we'll probably just wait until Monday and miss out on like 3 news cycles, which is crazy. Leigh, your guess is that they're going to end up announcing early and Sam will win anyway?
That's my prediction as of right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's an ultimately hopeful show. So.
Yes. To Toby and Will. Again, some lovely management from Toby, as Toby's like, hey, I'm going to California. You're going to stay here. Here's the work I want you to do. And Will's like, yeah, I can get that all done. And Toby's like, well, no, I mean, can you get that done, but using the staff of this literal department?
Because you have staff.
Yeah, like, stop being such a control freak and delegate. And Joshua's like, Joshua? Using his Christian name. Will Bailey's like, oh, I don't really want to though because no one likes me.
Yeah, because he's been that. It's the curse of the outside hire. It's hard. It's hard. He's been brought in from the outside above all these people who've been working for the administration for a long time.
Straight into Sam's office, straight into Sam's role.
What I will say is he talks about the fact that he baked the team Rice Krispie treats to try and get on their good side. Joshua Molina appears to be unable to say the phrase Rice Krispie treats. And I really enjoyed that.
I can't express how that must have haunted him. And like everyone he ever met at some sort of like West Wing, like meet and greet would have been like, say it, say Rice Krispie treats.
Are we crazy, dear listener? Is this a thing? Or has nobody thought about this
ever picked
prior
up on
to us?
He like stumbles over it. He's like, Rice Krispie treats.
And it's kind of like he does it one time and I'm like, okay, they just kind of like used like slightly a random take, but it's every time he says Rice Krispie treats, he does the same weird thing.
Rice Krispies treats.
Rice Krispies.
In answer to being asked if the staff don't like him, Toby goes, no, they don't like you at all. And I just think it was such good delivery.
I also love then just a gorgeous, beautiful moment with Ginger, where Will has to go up to Ginger, ask her what her job is by saying, are you on my staff?
I would love to know what like the water cooler gossip has been since he got his promotion. Would have been fascinating. But what's super cute also is that Will then just rings Sam.
Yeah.
For like some advice, but Sam's too busy. And Leigh and I now must really kind of like lower the tone and just talk about how good Rob Lowe looks.
Did he get jacked since the last time we saw him? It's like Sam, but like Hulk Sam. It's like Clark Kent Sam. Like what's happened here?
He's been at the gym.
Did he like have another role around this time? Like
it must be because he's definitely like broader shouldered.
And it's the neck for me as well. He's got like, those neck muscles.
Muscular neck, yeah.
Get?
His hair is a little longer. He's tanned. He looks great. But I will say, there's an immediate red flag for me from Sam's team. So when he's on the phone to Will, Will's like, oh, why is so-and-so got you doing that? And Sam kind of like, after he gets off the phone from Will, is like, hey, yeah, Will said this, ha 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 ha. And the two blokes who are obviously like running his campaign just give me a bit of the ick. I don't know why.
It's very political, bro.
Well, like, it does
to me.
It doesn't help that Scott, who's running his campaign, is played by Dr. Dale Edson from ER, who I always loathed.
Oh, interesting.
A cross-pollination from the ER world once again. He's very good, but he's just truly odious in this episode, and I just never liked him in ER. And all of he's just like, when the president's here, just don't make it look like you're mates with him. Like don't make it look like you're in his pocket. And you're like, Sam was his deputy head of communications. Like, they are close. Like, they worked together for 4 years. Like,
it feels very real to me, though. I think, like, in reality, if you were running for Congress, having worked in the West Wing, I think those would be conversations that are being had. So they're odious because we love Jed and we love Sam and we love their relationship. But I think it would be a very real campaign strategy that you'd have to think about how to play. And this whole California trip, I think, is so dramatically interesting in terms of shaking up the power dynamics with Sam no longer being a member of the team.
Yeah.
It's like deliciously awkward that he has
totally
existed within this very clear power hierarchy, and he's now like his own little planet. And everyone loving each other, but at the same time trying to like grapple with how to adapt to that.
Yeah.
Is great drama.
It really is. The other thing I will say about Scott, Scott, don't cancel on the Teamsters. What are you doing? Never cancel on the Teamsters.
We had a whole plot line about them.
Come on now. Should know better than this. They keep the world turning. Don't cancel on a union with power.
No.
Not in California.
In California, please.
Please. And we're on Air Force One. And the Republicans have indeed announced their tax plan.
Yeah, they need to announce it now. Also, just a moment for Ed and Larry making it onto Air Force One. I believe this is the first time. I'm proud of them.
Hey, boys.
Yeah, it's great to see. Also, Andy.
Congresswoman Wyatt is also on the plane.
She's an icon. It's iconic.
She's wearing a gorgeous, like, maternity white shirt.
Yes. And I love that Toby's being very overprotective. Obviously, we all know that I'm, at this point, extremely into Toby's daddy era. But I also love that he is being overprotective and in a kind of characteristically pithy manner. And Andy at one point just turns around to everybody else and goes, like, ladies, does anyone else want him?
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I think the phrase is, you've got twins in there. You're basically a minivan. How are you fitting into a seat? And she goes, I saw him first, girls. He at one point like lists off all of the risks that could, like all of the things that could go wrong whilst on a plane. And everyone else in the room is like, okay, like, but that could also happen to us. And he's like, this is a family thing. Which is very sweet. So I'm excited to see how Andy's going to be involved in helping Sam. But news from CJ is there has been a big fuck up about which airport we were supposed to be landing in.
The I-5 has been shut down for an hour and a half. Everyone in California hates Jed.
The really the driest, most sarcastic line of Josh Lyman ever is that a freeway that gets used a lot?
Now, the I-5 also runs through Seattle, through like Washington State. It's the same highway.
I've been on the I-5 with you in your Subaru.
In my 2001 Subaru Outback. Yes. Still going. She's still being driven around by my mom. If that happened in Seattle, people would be moved to violence, let alone in like Orange County.
Yeah, wild.
Wild.
We have a little meeting with Jed to chat through kind of everything that's happening and the Republicans announcing the tax plan. And he's kind of on his usual shit. Like, he does seem to just have the fire within him because he's just so angry about the Republican tax plan because it doesn't make sense on an economic level. Like, as a Nobel laureate of economics, Nobel Prize winner of economics.
Yes. I think at one point he goes like, I mean, I'm no economist. Oh, wait, I am.
Yeah. Josh gets extra credit for being funny and right at the same time.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
But we'll swing back to Will and his war with the speechwriting staff. So this is where I got confused because Elsie also can't say Rice Krispie treats.
Oh.
So I wondered if it was like a weird. So either Will couldn't say it, and therefore Elsie's like, I'm just going to make it a thing that's just how apparently you say Rice Krispie treats. But I was wondering whether because it's a brand name like Rice Krispies, if they can't say Rice Krispie treats, if they have to say Rice Krispies treats, and that's what's so difficult. If anyone deep in the West Wing Wingnut Web knows the answer to this question.
Oh my God, all of
I am
the
waiting
listeners.
on bated breath.
All of the listeners are like, guys, this is not a thing. This has never been a thing. The only people who've ever thought about this are you.
This is going to be one of those moments, Leigh, where like we have missed fundamentally a huge like kind of indicator of story and plot. And all of the wingnuts out there are like, how have these dumb women missed Aaron setting this up because they were talking about Rice Krispie treats? Leo is truly in a tough as hell meeting with two ambassadors.
Yeah, we also have like a 50-hour countdown happening concurrently with a 23-hour countdown. There's a lot going on.
It's a really good dynamic episode in that regard.
Yes.
Leigh, ready to meet the interns?
I've never been more ready to meet the interns. Dare we say elder millennials? Or maybe not quite. They might be like young Gen X.
Yeah, it's possible. A cusping of sorts. Will has gathered together a meeting of the scriptwriting team, which is just 4 interns because all of the scriptwriting team are not there. And these interns are just all very young women. And one of them's just like, yeah, we're about to like go off to a party with the other like West Wing interns, but like you're supposed to call Toby. And Toby answers the phone and is like, yeah, I fired all the speechwriting staff.
I was furious. I was like, the entire speechwriting staff, what happened to I Die For You last season? Where is that, Toby? In your gorgeous little chocolate number that you were wearing that day. And then it was like, oh no, immediately. Like, oh no, they did in fact just all quit.
Yes, they all quit because, understandably, none of them got that promotion.
Yeah. It's intense. It's an intense move. I do feel
it's a very like for one and for all type thing.
It would garner some headlines, I would imagine, if there was like a mass walkout of the Bartlett administration. But the gift that it does give us is the fact that we get these 4 interns, 3 of whom are called Lauren.
Which I think is so funny and so clever. Funny. Because this happens with like names in generations. Like we have that with like the millennial generation. I think there is a glut of different Beckys.
So many Beckys. Everyone's middle name is Louise.
The halls that I lived in university, there's, I think, 6 girls and only one of them didn't have the middle name Louise. Funny. In the words of Toby Ziegler, they're bright young women. Show some leadership skills. Get it done.
I'm obsessed. I feel strongly that Toby has never even met the 3 Laurens.
No,
he's potentially
and
only met Cassie.
But back to Callie. We finally arrived. We are very late. All of the hugging is making me emotional because it feels real. It feels like friends who worked together, like the actors as well.
Yeah.
Jed is absolutely enraged because apparently the French are trying to get involved with the Kundu operation and are like, well, you can't use French airspace.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that seems quite intense.
I, again, went down a deep rabbit hole. I was like,
This is
oh my
wild from you.
God, Zoe's boyfriend is going to have to help negotiate with the French.
I don't think a French prince is the person that we're going to for political support. But I like the way that you're thinking, and perhaps it's more fan fiction.
Yeah. I suppose it is just that, like, it helps that Jed is already annoyed at the French because of Jean-Paul. And now this has happened in addition.
We're like on the edge of a stage. Sam's just going up to introduce Jed.
Jed
like
is screaming about baguettes.
yes, he leans over his shoulder and is like, "Did we accidentally trap people in a theme park?"
Obsessed.
And then Leo's on the phone. The phone gets passed to Jed. Sam's introducing him, and Jed's just screaming into this phone. "Tell those poncy little hairdressers that I'm going to shove a loaf of bread up their ass."
Which has a mildly homophobic ring. It does feel like he's calling the French gay, but I will, on this occasion, I will let him away with it. I am also obsessed that the latest in the debacles of California is that a photograph has been released of a boy crying trapped leaving California Adventure because of the I-5 closure.
My day was ruined.
In my head, he's got like a box of raisins in his hand that he's just like crying into.
That he's like, when a young child like crushes a box of raisins, it sort of becomes mush in their hands.
Yeah.
It's the next day, and Will is back with a fresh new attitude and football shirts.
He is, and the jerseys are to differentiate the Laurens, which is so funny.
And he's bought Elsie for female support.
Yes, as an intermediary, a negotiator,
Sort of
if you will.
Help him understand the young women. And then actually, I'm like, this could be quite fun because he is kind of then like being the lecturer.
Yes.
Which is quite a cool vibe. But in Cali that morning, it feels like we're all in the same hotel room. Sam's getting ready for a breakfast thing, and the others like sat going through the papers. And like, I will say this for Sam, like they are all being quite negative because fair enough. But it does feel like there's an energy, right?
Especially between Josh and Sam. And I feel like the tension between them is uncomfy at this point in the episode. And I do think it's about that like status thing and the power thing, because I think the way we've seen their relationship work has always very much been like Sam looking at Josh with like doe eyes, like Bambi eyes.
Yeah.
Being like, show me the way, fierce leader. Like, as in, like, I feel like Josh has always been Batman and Sam has been Robin.
Yeah.
And now it feels like Sam is having his moment of being Batman, but Josh is like trying to curate it.
And he's allowed to have an opinion on everything because he's Josh Lyman.
Yeah.
I think Sam's like, the thing is like, Scott is running my campaign, so like that's Scott's call, and like you can have an opinion, but like can you just let me get on with my job?
Yeah.
And it's definitely a power dynamic thing. I think it doesn't help that they kind of allude to the fact that Josh has personal beef with Scott Holcomb, which does make sense, as Scott does seem like an ass and the sort of person that Josh would have called out for being an ass.
Yeah, whilst also being an ass.
Yes. But I don't like the fact that Donna has been sent on a side quest to meet with a guy called Ivan who works for like a farming association. And as soon as she sits down at the table with him, someone takes a photograph of them together.
It doesn't feel great. No, it feels like a bad omen for sure.
It's not the end of that story. She leaves said meeting and bumps into Sam, and they embrace. And then Sam says this. "Everyone, this is one of my best friends. This is Donna Moss."
I'm sobbing.
It's so beautiful. "This is one of my best friends."
It's one of my best friends. And why do I feel like they've like not said that before?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I feel like he's only realized that Donna is one of his best friends because of how much he's missed her. You know what I mean?
Yes. And like missed her counsel. But this moment is entirely crashed by Donna being like, "Hey, do you know anything about this Ivan guy?" And it turns out that he's also like quite a leading member in the Communist Party. And he's running for governor for the Communist Party.
Which is rough. It's rough in 2003. It would be rough today.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
And obviously that's, Donna's going to immediately feel stupid. But kind of Scott Holcomb's number 2 and Scott are both like, and his number 2 is like, honest to God, lady, how stupid can you be?
Hey, out of here.
And
You're
Sam
fired.
the way he just turns and says that to that man.
Mm-hmm. No questions asked. There's no confusion.
Like, I just told you her name. So don't
Also,
hey lady her.
How dumb are you? Your boss has just said, this is one of my best friends. And you call her lady?
How stupid can you be? Yet you're going to get fired.
To me,
And
it just
I'm
shows
with you.
a ridiculous, insane ego.
It
to
does.
think that that's not going to be like a fireable offense. But also, like, Sam firing him on the spot was really hot.
It's really hot.
Yeah. We
Fundamentally, he's a broad-shouldered, long-haired guy who's firing people.
He's in his
I don't know
Thor
what that
era.
is, but yeah. No, see, that's not for me.
No, it's not for me either. But
No. Maybe for heteros. Not for us. We like the little freaks. We're back in the West Wing, and Will is kind of like finding Leo in a hall and is like, hey, so is there anyone that you know that could help me write speeches? And Leo's like, no, I'm incredibly busy and there's a lot going on that like legally I can't tell you.
Yeah.
And then Will's like, well, like, can I help you with anything? Seeing as I feel kind of responsible about like this Kundu thing. And Leo's like, well, you are partly responsible, but no, you can't help me. And then walks into the sit room.
And we see the door slam. And I feel like it's the first time we've seen the closed door to the Situation Room, like with the brass plaque saying Situation Room.
Yeah.
And that really made an impact on me for some reason.
It did. And also just the idea that basically apart from Jed, the most powerful person in this building is like, yeah, it's kind of your fault. And like, go and do some work. Like, I'm really busy.
Yeah.
Awful. The news from Leo in the sit room is basically within this time frame that they've given the president of Kundu to stand down his weapons, he is marching huge groups of people to mass grave sites.
Yeah, it's incredibly dark. It's unfathomable. I just had a slight moment while watching that part of the episode of just going like, I just don't know how, as a leader, you ever justify that on any group of people in your head.
Yeah, and as kind of Leo and then in turn Jed, how does one navigate even conceiving of these kinds of moments as human beings? Because it seems like it's such an inhuman like thing to be happening. Like it's inconceivable, but you have to, as Leo, conceive of it and make a plan because of it.
Yeah, because you're the person who has to deal with it.
And Leo's now got to go back into these meetings with the ambassador for Kundu and be like, and make a deal. Like it's wild. And like meanwhile, Jed's like shaking hands in California.
It's crazy.
Because he has to go and do that. He can't be here doing this. It's wild. We'll have a little press update with CJ. In Cali, she's like lent on a desk. We're like in some sort of like classroom or like small room. Everyone's in there like dressed down Cali wear. There's a few Hawaiian shirts, which is very fun.
CJ's in a cream suit, which feels brave post avocado gate. I don't know if I would have gone for a slightly more forgiving color in terms of stains. But I love flying in the face of her vicious attack.
I think that's what it is for me. I do have to say the necklace she's wearing is very acceptable. Better than previous weeks.
Yes, it's not a necklace that I hate.
Very pearl-based. Do you think pearls were kind of having a moment in 2003?
I think if we recall, they were.
Oh dear. Yes, I believe they were.
Yes.
It's tough that it's Donna that's fucked up yet again with the photo with the guy from the Communist Party, because she just has perhaps gotten over taking the fall for Jack.
Well,
like, it's not been a good month of work for her.
I don't see how it could possibly have been avoided. Her boss told her to go to that meeting, and he didn't do his due diligence to know that he was affiliated with the Communist Party before he sent her there. Like,
no, it's on Josh. It's on Josh, but it's like Donna's the one that's photographed. So, like,
yeah, publicly.
From an optics perspective, it's her that's taking the fall.
Yeah.
Conjecture. Low-key vibes between Cassie and Will. No?
Oh, I just don't want that to be true. I really don't want Will Bailey to be soiled by sleeping with an intern.
No, we don't want that storyline. But I think what we do like is like a collegiate twinkle, you know?
Yes.
Like, it's okay to have a crush on someone at work and then be like, I'm not going to act on it though.
Yes.
You know?
I mean, that's what Josh and Donna have been doing for 4 seasons now. So,
to some pool between Charlie and Jean-Paul.
I have not been this excited since that number between the two boys in High School Musical where they're in the junkyard.
Of all the references you could make, that's so far from what I thought you were going to talk about. I thought it was going to be in some way West Wing related.
Corbin.
It's giving Corbin Blue. Said no one ever. That's insanity. Jean-Paul is just like, well, for one, the actor is very good at pool, which is, you know, fair play. But it's just like kind of like, yeah, so like Zoe loves doing all these things with me, and understandably, because Charlie, it's kind of Charlie's job. Charlie's like, look, like, I know that you guys had fun when you went to Paris, but like you went to a lot of fashion shows and that you were very on show. And like, it's not necessarily safe for you guys to be like photographed as much, like the places that you're going.
Yeah, he's very security minded. Then he's like, oh, Zoe doesn't like it. And then your man just goes like, oh, well, she likes being photographed with me. And it's like, well, obviously, asshole. The issue with being photographed with Charlie was not that she didn't want to be photographed with Charlie, is that she was worried about his security because he was actively receiving death threats while they were dating.
The quote is, she's a sexy... I'm so sorry about the French accent I'm going to do. She's a sexy girl, Charlie. She likes having her picture taken.
I felt like that
actually
wasn't
criminal.
bad.
That's criminal, but that's fine. I'm so sorry, Misha. Then Zoe arrives.
Not so showing off a little bit of midriff.
And is she holding a beer?
I believe she is, yeah.
Because she would be old enough to drink now, I suppose.
Yes.
And then she just proceeds to make out in front of Charlie with Jean-Paul. And I personally think that is quite rude to do in front of an ex.
The only reason why I'm like, I don't hate her for it is because I think she's doing it because she wants Charlie to be jealous.
Yeah. I mean, it's very pointed. Like, it's on purpose, that's for sure.
I think it's like a little like, hey, get me back.
If you want me,
don't you want to get me back?
If you want me, you better say something. Which I obviously hate, but also love. You know, because you're 21. Like, now is the time to be slightly toxic.
Yeah.
From one moment of insanity to another, this is a small conjecture of insanity from Donna just looking into the middle distance and saying this.
Communists look exactly like non-communists. So yes, libertarian Donna encounters her worst fear, communism.
And then we have the most insane moment. So we're in like the hotel bar.
Yeah.
CJ, Josh, Toby, Congresswoman Wyatt, Andy, and then like Charlie and Jean-Paul have been like playing pool nearby. They're all just like having a chat, having a drink. And then this couple walk by. And this guy's like, Miss Wyatt, those kids you've got in there deserve a father.
Ew.
Whoa, buddy, whoa. And she's obviously like, excuse me, first of all, it's Congresswoman Wyatt.
Yeah.
Not Miss Wyatt. And like, you don't get to have an opinion about what I'm doing with my life. And they do have a father. So, and then like this couple just kind of pop off at them.
It escalates in a really scary way. And like, it made me feel very uncomfortable. It's happened to me maybe once or twice being out with like a female partner or like a gender non-conforming partner. And I do think it's written really well in that it escalates in a really scary way, but in a way that feels like entirely grounded and truthful to me.
Yeah. And like no one's raising a voice.
Yeah.
And actually, I think the casting of this couple is perfect. Like,
yes,
perfect middle America family values. You can tell that they've got like 2 boys and a Labrador retriever at home.
Yeah. And the wife doesn't really have a huge amount to say, but I think for like just a bit part, she does an amazing performance of like I'm assessing the situation, but also I like stand by my man in a way.
She stands by her man until the end. So like they like basically this guy gets like up in Angie's face in like a very offensive way, and Toby's like, man, you're drunk, like you need to step back.
Again, just being so hot and daddy.
It's crazy. And then Charlie comes over and is like, hey, like you guys good? And the woman goes, oh, this is the one that was with the daughter.
Oh, so
And I was like, the fuck did you just say, love? The fuck did you just say?
We're like incredibly racist.
Racist, yeah. But it's so perfectly written. The way that she says it and the way that she delivers it. If you turned around to that fictional woman and went, that's very racist, she'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I didn't mean anything by it. Which is then like, you can just, the way that the escalation is written is perfect. We then cut back to the ambassadors very briefly.
Margaret, hey,
you look gorgeous as always. You're amazing. We love you. We'd love to see more of you on our screens.
Yeah, she's not been given many of her like fun moments this season at all.
No, there's been a lot of kind of trying to stop war. So like Leo hasn't had like as many escapades.
Well, except for Geordie.
Famously Geordie. But a notice passed and all he says is, get me Fitzwallace and get me the president.
What the
Feels
hell
stressful.
is on that note?
Meanwhile, in jail...
I was like, fuck, Charlie has been arrested. Fuck. And then I was like, Toby, please don't aggravate the police. You're with your like young black colleague that's just been arrested because he was essentially like being your second in a duel.
Yeah, which is kind of incredible, but also like... Why has this happened once again in California? And I would like to say on that the way Toby behaves in jail and how Charlie behaves in jail, I think are pitched perfectly. Like Charlie is just like calm. He's just doing what the officer is saying. You know, you can tell like he's just a bit like, this is just such a phenomenal waste of time. Meanwhile, Toby's like screaming into a cell phone.
I was also like, how has Toby's cell phone not been taken away?
Because Toby is like a powerful white man.
Yeah.
Which again, I think is like a really great example of like how Aaron writes these moments.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott, what have you got? We cut to Scott having a little moment with Sam before he's about to like do another speech. And Scott's like, hey, I'm gonna like propose something wild. And Sam's like, cool, like I love crazy, let's go. And Scott's like, I think you should say that you don't support the president's tax plan.
And Sam is like, I literally wrote it though. Like I worked on, like it was kind of mine and Toby's idea.
You could still say that you like you only did it because you worked for him. And Sam's like, well, I can't say that because that would be untrue because I passionately support this tax plan. And I was like, why on earth, what are you talking about, Scott, you fool? Like, you literally don't know anything about the candidate that you're representing. Like, this is such a waste of Sam's potential.
Yeah.
Like, if this campaign had been run right, there's every possibility that, like, it wouldn't be the end of Sam's career in that sort of politics.
Yeah.
But, like, a badly run congressional campaign could be, like, the death of him ever running for Congress again. I hate Scott.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sam like storms out of the room because this is the point where Sam's like, what do you mean they've been holding back on the tax plan to help me? That's crazy. Meanwhile, Jed has just found out that Toby and Charlie are arrested because a patron was jostling Congresswoman Wyatt and Toby tried to get him to step back. The man slipped on the floor and then the man's friend lunged for Toby.
It's such incredible writing that actually, like, no one actually threw the first punch. Like, actually... It was just that the guy slipped. Like, that's
because
such
he was a bit
good,
drunk. Yeah.
Stupid writing.
And then Jed is just outraged because he says, every time we come to Southern California, we are absolutely the Clampets. And I was like, who the fuck are the Clampets? They're the family from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh my God. That's so incredible. Yeah. Also, like, then they're just like at the side of the stage and Jed just gives Scott like the most incredible side eye I've ever seen. It's a side eye worthy of Charlie Young.
Truly. Because Sam's basically pulled Josh aside and been like, why on earth would you ever hold back the tax plan for my sake? The quote is, which is heartbreaking and amazing and makes me love Sam so much, is, if I'm going to lose, I'd like to lose doing something.
It's very Sam.
And then he goes out on stage and is like, hey, President Bartlett's about to announce a new tax plan. And like, if I was in Congress, I would be the first yay vote.
Mm.
And Scott's like, what the hell is this guy doing?
Mm-hmm. It's very much Sam's like, I think I'll try defying gravity moment.
Yes. Oh, truly.
Yeah.
And then as Scott's like, why would he do that? Jed just gives the side eye and then he just turns to Josh and he's like, we need to like take over this campaign. He like fires Scott without saying you're fired. He just turns and provides that job to someone else.
I'm obsessed that it's not even Jed's authority at this point to fire this man, and yet he does so.
He is the president of the United States at the end of the day. Then there's a call from Leo, and the note was that 3 Marines have been taken hostage in Kundu. So I feel like we're now in a rescue scenario situation, and that's what next week's ep will probably be about.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just close out the ep with like a lingering moment between Jed and a 22-year-old lieutenant, which was just a lot.
Thinking about the cost of war, which is a lot in 2026. Yeah.
And that's how we close out the ep.
And I was just like, as Jed like pulls himself together to walk out on stage, I was just like, wow, what a man.
What a man.
Just
what
putting
a
it all
leader.
aside to go out on stage and announce his tax plan against his own better judgment.
Like, what a leader.
That's a showman. Do you know what I mean?
That's very like I have the stomach flu, I have vomited into a bucket, but I will be going out and singing the like big tune of this musical.
Yeah.
Love that for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, quick fires, Leigh.
Best fashion for you.
I agree with you.
Both of Zoe's looks.
But I would like to shout out the bravery of the cream suit from CJ.
Yes. Fashion is protest.
What could a British or Irish politician never get away with?
Offering someone breakfast after threatening to invade their country.
Yeah, agreed. I would also like to pitch just like handling their child having a sexy French boyfriend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Queerest moment that never meant to be queer?
Will Bailey and the Laurens.
100%.
I want them to be a band.
Yes. And he would play drums and sing.
Yes.
Best writerly moment.
If I'm going to lose, I'd like to lose doing something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just gorgeous. I would love to go for Donna's dead-eyed stare and the communists look exactly like non-communists.
No, I think that is correct. Yeah. Because it's so correct for that character that this is like a big realization for her.
Yeah. Man, I feel like a man.
Toby, is there a problem?
Oh, Charlie Young, please. I think in terms of like a toxic man, I feel like a man moment, it has to go to, she's a sexy girl, Charlie. She likes having her picture taken. What? Because I hate that. And what was the moment that made you proudest to be an American?
Toby standing in front of his pregnant ex-wife.
Every day of the damn year, week, month, millennia. Also, props to Sam Seaborn just for firing a dude for being mean to his best friend, Donna Moss.
Yeah. That is very real, for sure.
If like I was like, this is my best friend Lee Douglas, and then you were like, oh, I did this thing, and someone was like, why did you do that? Like, that's so stupid. I would fire them. Like, without thought.
Agreed.
You don't do that.
No.
Did you not hear? She's my best friend. Anyway, I feel that we have some learning to do.
Yes. I thought, in honor of Will Bailey, Sam Seaborn, and the Laurens, we would take a look at a presidential speechwriter from history.
Ooh, color me intrigued.
Namely, the woman largely held responsible for Ronald Reagan's...
It's never good when Leigh can't get through what she's about to say without laughing. It's never a good start.
Largely responsible for Ronald Reagan's reputation as, quote, the great communicator. Yes, so Peggy Noonan was special assistant and speechwriter to President Ronald Reagan. She came from one of 7 in an Irish Catholic family, if the name didn't give it away. From Brooklyn, her father was a furniture salesman, and her family later lived above a candy store in New Jersey. She has a degree in literature and journalism and always kept a copy of the Bible and Ezra Pound's Cantos by her while she worked.
That's so intense, but like also kind of iconic.
So obviously, she is responsible for Ronald Reagan's hallmarks as a speech maker, the folksy style, the American nationalism of it all, the religiosity. She also consulted on The West Wing.
Oh, I thought her name rang a bell. Because I've seen it on the credits. Oh, interesting.
Prior to working in the Reagan White House, she was a producer and writer for CBS News in New York and an adjunct professor of journalism at NYU. The kind of speech that she made her mark with when she was still very new to the Reagan administration was his speech at Normandy on the 40th anniversary of D-Day.
Wow.
Which I thought if there was ever going to be a speech that would be right up Fiona Kingwell's alley, it's a speech celebrating the achievements of D-Day.
It's anything Band of Brothers adjacent, and I am present and correct.
So Reagan is in the midst of his re-election campaign. The appearance at Normandy, celebrating America winning World War II, major opportunity to get the people on his side. It's June 1984. Peggy Noonan has been working at the White House for 3 months. She is very much in a Will Bailey adjacent position at this point. She has also not actually personally met the president yet, but she adores Ronald Reagan. This is where me and Peggy struggle with each other. But yes, she had a keen sense of drama. And in her 1990 book, What I Saw at the Revolution, she wrote that when she was given the assignment for writing Reagan's speech for this particular occasion, she just kind of paced around the Washington Monument and read books about D-Day. And she said, I drifted, waiting for the speech to come. Sometimes they do. So they're at Pondahock, and he ultimately delivered one of the most famous speeches of his presidency with 62 surviving Army Rangers who had scaled the 100-foot cliffs under fire from the Germans, sat in the front row in front of him.
Yeah, like it's a tough audience. You've got to get it right.
Oh, 100%. But also it's like, in other ways, I feel it is a tough speech to fuck up. Like it just feels like it's a freebie in a way because everyone loves America winning World War II.
Yeah.
So Peggy Noonan she's young, she's precocious, she's 33, and yes, that is young.
It is young.
She's written many books, but in another one of her books, she said that she was given quite a modest task when she was given this assignment, which was, we'd like it to be like the Gettysburg Address.
Oh my God.
She eventually asked someone what they actually meant by that, and ultimately what they wanted to make people cry with this speech, which is kind of Peggy Noonan's superpower as a speechwriter.
Love that.
As we know from Reagan's campaign video, Reagan loved like an emotive, patriotic moment. Her own goal, outside of making a speech like the Gettysburg Address, was to detail the incredible achievements of the Rangers that day. She's quoted as saying, I wanted American teenagers to stop chewing their Rice Krispies. Second mention, I wanted American teenagers to stop chewing their Rice Krispies for a moment and hear about the greatness of those tough kids who are now their grandfathers.
Oh my God.
The historian Douglas Brinkley has since said of the speech that she ended up writing, for sheer oratorical elegance, it would become one of the most inspirational presidential speeches ever delivered.
Wow.
She wrote, and Reagan said, we stand on a lonely windswept point on the northern shore of France. The air is soft, but 40 years ago at this moment, the air was dense with smoke and the cries of men, and the air was filled with the crackle of rifle fire and the roar of cannon. At dawn on the morning of the 6th of June, 1944, 225 Rangers jumped off the British landing craft and ran to the bottom of these cliffs. Their mission was one of the most difficult and daring of the invasion, to climb these sheer and desolate cliffs and take out the enemy guns. Now, Peggy Noonan was not initially told that the Pondahock veterans would be, she'd been told they would be there, but not that they would be like all sitting together directly in front of the president.
Row, yeah.
And she said, I was indignant. How could they not tell me? She then realized the magic of the speech would be Reagan addressing them directly. You can actually see in the archives at the bottom of page 2 of her May 21st draft of the speech, there's the sentence, "We have here today some of the survivors of the Battle of Pondahoc, some of the Rangers who took these cliffs." It is then crossed out and then handwritten over it in neat printed script. It begins, "These are the boys of Pondahoc. These are the men who took the cliffs. These are the champions who helped free a continent. These are the heroes who helped end a war." It's getting me even as I'm reading it. I hate Reagan so much, but it's such good writing. It's emotive. I care about the veterans, not about Reagan. I just want to make that so deeply clear. The Washington Post later wrote that it basically became the greatest line of one of Reagan's greatest speeches. "A speech is a soliloquy," she would write later. "One man on a bare stage with a big spotlight, part theater and part a political declaration." She also wrote of that particular speech, it was also poetry, cadence, rhythm, imagery, sweep.
She's very theatrical. She is
so theatrical.
It is giving musical theatre gal in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean that as a bad thing.
No. It's a great compliment. They're an earnest people.
Yes.
She did actually also have quite a lot of policy that she needed to cram into this speech because, of course, it was the 80s. We were in the midst of the Cold War. And so she needed to get in some kind of jabs at the Soviet Union whilst also celebrating D-Day. But she said, "A good speech is like a sausage skin. The stronger it is, the more you can shove in."
That's a horrible image. That's a truly horrible image.
Yeah. Basically, though, by all accounts, everyone was in tears. Reagan later wrote, "Even the Secret Service agents trained to watch for danger instead of listening to presidential speeches did not disguise their feelings." Reagan's biographer, Lou Cannon, wrote, "Many of the Rangers wept as they heard these words, and a number of us in the press corps wept with them."
Wow.
So this is kind of the moment that Peggy confirms her place in the Reagan administration. Her next big test, however, she had a lot less time to prep for because it was the day of the Challenger disaster.
Yes.
When the rocket ship exploded 73 seconds after takeoff.
Yeah.
And, the president needed to, half of America watch this happen live on TV.
Yeah,
and the president needed to speak and make a statement. And so there was no time to really put anything together. But this is what she wrote about the process of writing his presidential address that day. "It was a day like any other in the office of the president's speechwriters. The big work of the week, Ronald Reagan's State of the Union address, had been completed. The president was scheduled to give the speech that night. In the late morning, I was in my office in the old executive building talking on the phone. CNN played on the TV to my left, the picture on and the sound off. Suddenly I saw something odd on the screen. It showed a big blue sky, but cutting through it in the middle was a deep, dense, discrete funnel of white cloud. A terrible accident had happened. The Challenger had blown up. We watched it live on TV. The White House, when a tragedy like that happens, everything stops. Everybody is on the phone. Everybody is in a meeting. Everybody has to have an urgent communication with somebody else. I removed myself from all of that. And I know the president has to speak in the next few hours because this was a huge tragedy and someone is going to have to start working on that. So I went to my boss and I said, I will start work. He said, go. I sit in my office and I start working as everything is exploding. During that time, a little girl walked into my office, the daughter of my boss, Ben Elliott. He'd brought her into work that day. She was 7 years old. My little friend looked at the TV and looked at me and said quizzically, the teacher was on the rocket. Is the teacher all right? At that point, I remembered every school child in America was watching the Challenger go up because there was a school teacher, a public school teacher, Kristen McAuliffe, was on that space shuttle.
Whoa.
The president was meeting with aides, making decisions, talking to NASA, handling the crisis. At this point, a woman ran into my office, Karna Small, an aide on the National Security Council. She'd been with the president in various meetings, taking notes on everything he had said. Her notes became the spine of the speech.
Ooh.
which I think is so cool. Shout out to Karna for being like, this is what the president is thinking and saying in his meetings, so you know you can take his temperature in writing this speech. I think that's so cool. Reagan had talked about the sacrifices made by the families of the astronauts. He spoke of space as the last frontier. He said, we've grown so used to success in space that this tragedy came as a special shock. He had been asked in a private meeting with journalists about the school children watching. He said, pioneers have always given their lives on the frontier, but we have to make it clear to the children that life goes on. She said he had to speak to those who were 8 and to those who were 80 without patronizing anyone. And ultimately, she then was saying that as she was writing the speech, they were showing B-roll on the news of the astronauts as they like waved goodbye before they got on the rocket earlier that morning. As I was watching, I thought of something I'd learned in the 7th grade in English class by John Gillespie McGee Jr. He became a fighter pilot in World War II and died in the run-up to the war, but left behind this beautiful poem that ended with the words, slip the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. It just came to me. I just remembered it from 7th grade. Here it is, the thing I made at the end of the speech. I put that line at the end of the speech, but I knew that Reagan would only say it if he knew the poem, if it mattered to him. I had a hunch he did. Did he? When Reagan spoke live from the big desk at the Oval Office, he said at the end, we will never forget them nor the last time we saw them this morning as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God. And then she basically goes on to say that at the time, neither she nor Reagan had actually thought that the speech had met the moment because it was just such a huge moment. And she said, I could see that Reagan was really upset. And he left work that day, as did she, feeling that the speech hadn't succeeded. But then she said basically overnight, people started reacting, the press started reporting, kids started talking, something happened overnight. At the time I got into work the next morning, I got the impression that the speech did that job. Tip O'Neill had called me. Tip O'Neill, I am a well-known person now. I was not a well-known person then. He was the powerful Democratic Speaker of the House of Representatives. I was in an office in the old executive office building. Tip O'Neill bothered to find me, call me, and thank me for the work I had done.
Wow.
And then Reagan calls her to say, well, the first thing he asks her is, how did you know how much I loved that poem?
Interesting.
Which apparently had been on a plaque outside his daughter's school. And he'd seen it every day as he dropped her off. So that was a bit kismet. But also he called to thank her for working on the speech, which he now did feel had succeeded because Frank Sinatra had called him.
What?
And let me tell you, he doesn't call me after every speech.
That's just like the power of Frank Sinatra to be like, get me the president.
I want to speak to Ron. Yeah, I just think there's so much you can read about her. She's been now like a long-standing columnist for the Wall Street Journal. So she's commented on like every major political thing that's happened ever since she left the White House, basically. But she's also the third kind of final speech that was really like a hallmark of her writing for Ronald Reagan was his farewell address when he left office. And there's a letter that you can read online that she wrote to Reagan basically outlining what the speech should do.
So interesting for like one of his speechwriters to be like, let me talk to you about like how this moment should be.
Yeah.
As like, you know, he's the president's leaving office, but it's her that's like, this is how you should navigate, like the optics of this moment through this speech.
Yeah. She says, Dear Mr. President, these are my thoughts. The 2 things we absolutely have to do on this speech are, 1, we have to say old things in a new way to make people listen. And 2, we have to remember that this is a tonal speech, a tone poem aimed at subtly reminding people of what a giant you are. And she said, we should in this speech go back to the first principles like city on a hill. That's your signature phrase, and you ought to leave the stage saying it. But beyond a few careful repetitions, we shouldn't keep saying the same old thing in the same old way, because if we do, no one will listen. To grab and keep their attention, we have to reinvent a little. The way to do it is simply to say what you feel in a new way with new words. This is the difference between I love you and my God, I adore you. A phrase which, in my experience, really catches the object's attention, though it would probably be wrong to use it in this address.
Obsessed. That's so fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I love you. My God, I adore you. She's very astute, right?
Mm-hmm. One more word. In my experience, these speeches get invented at odd moments. All of a sudden it comes and you write. Until that happens, what's in your mind just percolates. I'm still percolating. I'm not ready to pour yet.
I like her.
I know. It's unfortunate that she loves Reagan so much.
Yeah.
Because I do not feel the same.
The same way.
But yes, she's now a columnist for the Wall Street Journal, and actually, in 2008, she got a lot of kudos from the liberal side of the aisle for criticizing the invasion of Iraq, and she really went in on Sarah Palin as the vice presidential nominee, which
that's
we
reassuring
appreciate.
in a way. Yeah.
So yeah, that's Peggy.
Well, great to know a little bit more about someone who's like a consultant on the West Wing as well.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's cool to know that they had more conservative eyes on the show as well.
Yeah.
But also, like, she's clearly an incredible orator.
Yeah. I would love to have been a fly on the wall between like her going for tea with Aaron Sorkin.
You've got to wonder, like, is that where Ainsley Hayes comes from? A little bit?
Yeah, it could be.
You know what I mean?
Like there's a directness, but there's a musicality to Ainsley. Interesting. Oh, well, great study, Seshly.
Thank you.
I'm pleased to know more about her.
Yeah, the other person besides Sarah Palin that she really went on is she wrote a whole book about Hillary Clinton, and it was not favorable.
Wow. Wow. Well, I feel like that book will be about as stressful as maybe next week's episode.
We'll chat when we get there.
Yeah.
Because something's on fire.
Yeah. The title of the episode doesn't fill me with hope. And also, I will say, leaving an episode knowing that 3 people are hostages
doesn't bode well.
Doesn't bode well. Shall we do this again next week, Leigh?
Yes, we shall. I don't know that anyone is concerned enough that Charlie is in jail. Like, I feel Toby's going to be fine. There was like a brief mention to the fact of like the potential jail sentence associated with assault. And I'm I don't know that anybody else is thinking enough about the structural racism.
Yeah. Katie is
thinking about structural racism, my cat, for sure. And she is telling me that this record is over.
Yeah. I think the boys will be okay, but perhaps we needed another little moment on that. But we shall see what fruits come next week. But until then, Leigh, where shall people find us?
Queer Gals Watch, wherever you get your socials, queergalswatch@gmail.com. We're also Queer Gals Watch on Patreon. But also please consider just giving us a rate and review on wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, so that more people can find. We would love that. And we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye, Leigh.
Bye-bye.
As a small business owner, sometimes it feels like no matter how much planning you do, there's always surprises, like an urgent, expensive repair. But here's a surprise you will like. With Progressive, small business owners save 13% on their commercial auto insurance when they pay in full. So enjoy a surprise for once. Get a quote in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Why does Progressive work hard for truckers? Because truckers unite the world. They unite kids with their first drum sets and parents with earplugs. But truckers can't do this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive has over 360 heavy truck employees to help truckers stay on time and on track. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.